everyone. Your host, Leani Lopez, here with another episode of I Got Nothing, a podcast for exhausted writers. And with me is another exhausted writer. Please introduce yourself.
First of all, I would like to thank Leani for inviting me to this wonderful podcast. Hi, everybody. I'm Ria Jain. I'm an indie author and I have recently started writing. So, I live in London. I have a small baby who is 7 months old and a lovely husband. And I'm a software engineer otherwise. But I have chosen writing because it's my passion.
And you had a book recently that you released. Isn't that correct?
Yes, correct. So my last release is Born of Us, Mother in Making, and that book is about pregnancy and postpartum and a little bit of family drama around that. So it is about all the colors of motherhood because what I see on Instagram, social media, everywhere that they romanticize pregnancy a lot, and the
Yep.
actual struggles are hidden behind the curtain. Like it seems like that but the idea of writing this book for me, I have specially written it for women. I want that whoever reads this book, they know the entirety about pregnancy, like the complete truth, not shaded, not masked, exactly raw, honest, complete. They should know how women feel during pregnancy, what are their struggles, little problems to big problems, and whenever somebody feels alone and they feel, oh, it is so absurd, is it only with me? But no, I want them to feel they are not alone. Everybody experiences it. It is okay. It's okay to pause and it's okay to accept that this is damn hard on your
Yeah,
body.
it is. It is. It is exhausting. I mean,
Yes.
I had my son when I was 24 and we were just out of college a couple years and I was working like crazy and there would just be days where I'd just get home and then just lay on the couch and that's where I would be for the next like 10 hours. Like it is exhausting. It Your body goes through a lot.
Yeah, it is. So support any pregnant woman around you, your daughter or your sister or like your mother if she's having another kid. So yeah, and your wife of course. So this is for all of them to know the truth and just feel like okay, it is not easy, and just be a little bit more supportive. And also for people like me, suppose like when I got pregnant, there were so many things I didn't even know that I'm
Yeah.
going to face and it is going to happen. It's like a little sneak peek of what you are signing up for when you see that double line.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so I love that that is what you included in your writing and you wanted to share that with other people. When did you know that you wanted to be a writer? Have you always known, or was this something recent that kind of came to you?
So writing, I would say, is kind of something I was born with. So when I was like very, very little, I used to have an interest in English because I'm from India, and I shifted to London like after getting married. But when I was in India, I had a special interest in the English language, in reading literature, even Hindi literature, books, poetry. I was always very interested, and there were like small writing tasks and I used to do it with utmost sincerity. Whenever I used to get like an exam paper, I used to do the writing section first of all because I wanted to take my time, do it beautifully. All my teachers, everybody admired what I wrote. I was the person who used to get 100 on 100 in literature. So it was like all along. And I used to participate in small poetry competitions. So I actually began with poetry and then I used to write stuff, and but I never thought that I'm going to pursue it for a living. I just used to write. But recently, when like I was in postpartum, and I used to see my little baby. She's trying to learn new things, capture everything around her, and the most beautiful thing about babies is they are so expressive and they are very brave.
Mhm.
Coming in this world when you can't even handle yourself, you know nothing. You are in a complete strange family, in a complete strange environment outside the womb. They are so brave. They come with trust and they come with passion. So when I looked at her, I thought, if she can try to learn when she like knows nothing, and why not I follow my passion, and I should also like when I have got all the time in the world, then why not give it a try? I was thinking that I wanted to like just plan a special gift for my baby, something nobody has given anybody. So then I thought that what better than writing the story of her origin, like the love story, me and my husband's love story. I thought that I would write it down for her. When I wrote it, it came out so beautiful. Then I thought that I should share it with the world. And that's how I just published my first book. I knew nothing about publishing, about anything. Even I didn't know bookstore existed. And now I can't exist without it. But I didn't know about it. So I was like, okay. And then I just tried, and here I am now.
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to a couple of other indie authors, and the level of bravery we all have to do this is exponential, because not only are you doing something new and something you don't fully understand, but you're also putting your creative work out there for a lot of people to see, and it does take a level of bravery. And so I
Yes.
commend you for taking that brave step.
Thank you so much.
And I love that you were inspired by your daughter. It just made me remember my very first book, which is not available anymore.
Uh,
But my very first book, my inscription was for my son, who at the time that I published it, he was about one, maybe not even a couple months old. And I have this distinct memory because I've always knew I wanted to write. And in high school, it's like, I'm going to be a writer. And this like really snotty kid was just like, writing will take you nowhere. And after I
yeah.
told him to screw off, it just made spite a great motivator. But my inscription or my dedication of my first book to my son was that quote that someone said, and then me saying, but it led me to you. So he was wrong. So I was also inspired by my son. So I love that your daughter was your inspiration.
Thank you so much. And I wish I had read your first book, but I'll read something else from you.
Yeah, no, I'm glad many people didn't. It was supposed to be a trilogy, and no. No, no. So, what was it like when you finally finished that book, your first book?
Yeah, so when I finally finished my first book, I was very happy. Like, it was my own story, my own love story. But when I gave it words, and like only writers and authors or maybe creative people will understand this, but the journey is more beautiful than the outcome.
Mhm,
When you write it, you are reliving those moments again, especially when you are doing a memoir sketch or memoir writing. It's like reliving those moments again. And like for those moments, I used to get lost. I used to get back, like time travel, and think about the love and the situations and everything that happened and shaped our beautiful love story. I was so glad, like at least I'm reliving those memories. And I was very happy writing it. It's like you just need to write, you need to express yourself. And once it was written, it turned out to be so beautiful. And like I was like, okay, I have written something really good, and this doesn't belong just in my daughter's hands. It really needs to be shared with the world. So I was really very happy with it.
yeah, and other writers I've spoken to, it really is like an impulse. Like,
Yes,
a lot of people who have a passion for writing can't not write.
exactly.
Yeah, it's as important as, like, breathing and eating, like, you just have to do it, because I know for me, the stories will not leave me alone, even if I'm like, "No, I'm not working on this, no, I don't." They don't care.
Sometimes I feel I need 24 hours and I don't want to sleep. I want to write my book. I want to
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah, especially when you get into that good writing flow and you're like, "No one interrupt me,
Yes.
please."
Yes, I know. Like that feeling is the most amazing feeling in the world. And that's about following any passion you have.
Yeah, and it really yeah, passion is key. When you have passion for something, you find motivation and energy where you thought there was none. It's
Yes.
really it's a like you were saying, it's a beautiful journey.
Yes.
And so when it comes to writing, I know some people have little writing rituals they do. I, for one, I anytime I start anything new, I'll create a playlist so like when I'm getting ready to write, I put that music on and kind of get into the right headspace. Do you have any of your own writing rituals?
So, in terms of writing rituals, I'll say like nothing in particular, like as a writing ritual, but sometimes I would ask some friends or my even my mother, my brother, I've written this, how does it feel? So it is my little ritual that I just review as I write and I just like it. That is like my only little ritual.
I get that. I get wanting to have someone review it. Oh, the Lord knows. My poor husband. Like, "Could you just I did this thing, could you just look at it really quick?" She's just like, "Okay, sure." It's, like, to the point when like, if I just send him something without context, he'll just automatically give me feedback on it.
Yeah.
So then I had to be like, "Okay, I'm just sharing. No feedback needed this time." You just have those little rituals that you do.
Yes.
Having other people read what I've written helps me know if it makes sense because I know
Exactly.
how it's supposed to sound in my head. I know what I meant to say, but if I can't come across that way or if it doesn't come across that way, then I want to fix it, you know? And also
Exactly.
when you're yeah, and also when you're proud of something, you want to show it off.
There is nothing wrong about showing off, and it's like when it's also like about sharing, like when my mother or brother reads, they always feel proud of me and they would like, oh really, you have done something great, and everybody likes a little motivation, so showing off is one part.
Yeah.
Other part is like there are perspectives, so sometimes we write something, we think in one direction and we know why we have written it, what does it mean, but sometimes I've noticed that when others read it, they will connect with it, and sometimes they will not connect, or they will just interpret it differently. So if they
Yeah.
interpret it differently, sometimes that interpretation might be even more wonderful than we thought. It's people will love it more than we expected, or people will just hate it. But
Yeah.
at least we know the feedback, we know like the whole concept behind arc reading and all these stuff.
And it really does depend on the audience and who's, listening or reading. For example, I just put out an audio drama a couple months ago, and one of the first reviews, they gave me a 1 star. So I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Like, I wanna know why. I'm curious. Like, I wasn't like, "Who is it?" Like, I didn't go all Batman.
Yeah.
But and their review, if it's still up on Apple Podcasts, is sort of unnecessary. It was just like, it didn't make sense, and in my opinion, it just basically feels like a troll review. But one of the things, like, it doesn't make sense, and for a moment, I was like, "Oh, crap. Does it not make sense?" You know what I mean? And
Yes.
then I stopped and I was like, "Well, this is geared towards adults. My friends' children who are 8 and 10 absolutely are obsessed with it. I think it makes sense. Because if 2 kids 10 and under can understand the storyline, I think I did write a story that is cohesive."
Yeah, we are magician with the words.
Feedback, you can either take it or leave it. I think first piece of advice for starting out, indie authors who are starting out is not all feedback is necessary or helpful.
Yeah.
Sometimes the feedback is just like, why did you spend 10 minutes just to tell me this? But other times it can be so encouraging and really does help the situation.
No, even you reminded me of my first feedback. Like when I wrote Heart Knows No Miles, like my debut novel, I got feedback around the formatting, that the formatting is not nice, or like why is it center aligned, or there are like it is not looking like the standard books formatting. And it was my first book. So what I thought is like I was making it designer and it looked pretty because I am a great appreciator of art and I like to draw and do as well. So like it should look pretty, but I didn't know it was way too pretty and it lost the seriousness. And it was like people were saying it's good for paperbacks, but for Kindle, you can keep it a bit one note down and maybe format it a bit better and improve the readability and all that stuff. So I thought, like, okay, then I went and I saw the books on Kindle, and then I thought, okay, literally my book is way far from this and I need to fix it. And then I fixed the whole formatting, and then it was like, okay, great. And now I know about formatting. I have to format paperbacks and ebooks differently.
Yeah, yeah, the formatting thing, that really gets you. When I decided to pursue indie writing again,
Yeah.
it was in 2018, I left my full-time job to write full-time because
Wow.
I just could not work at that place anymore. It was very soul crushing, and I was like, "This is not what I'm meant to be doing, I'm meant to be writing." And so I had a couple of stories just kinda hanging out, that used to be fan fiction, but were so far removed from the source material that they were not fan fiction, it was just a story on its own. So I kind of reformatted them and rewrote them to stand on their own, and those are the 2 books I currently have published. And when it came to the formatting, I formatted it a certain way in my documents for my eyes, but to have to go in and actually reformat for a book and, like, put, like, spaces where you weren't intending to, it just you there's hats you have to wear as an indie author. You need to be a publisher, you need to be a writer, you need to be an editor, you need to be a graphic designer, like, there's so many different hats you need to wear.
Exactly. It's like a one-man army, and cover designing is the worst
Yeah,
nightmare. Waiting on Amazon just for the rejection that spine length is this and spine text is
yeah,
big and this, that technical specifications. For the first
yeah.
time, it is a literal nightmare, and you have to wait like 3 days, and it will just come and blow on your face. No, it is not right. You need to fix it. I was like, why are you waiting 3 days? Just tell me on that day itself. And waiting is like the most difficult part.
That just reminded me with my first or my second book, my first of my indie career, my book Slip of the Hand, people started ordering it right away, and then they started sharing pictures, and that's when I realized the cover was not centered correctly, and I was like, "Shit." So, like, the first like, my close family and friends who got very early copies are kinda shitty copies because the cover is just not centered, and so, thankfully, I fixed it, and after that, I remembered, "Oh, yeah, I should have ordered a proof first."
Exactly.
So, always order proofs, people. It will save your sanity.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Even something like that happened with my kids' activity book, which was my first paperback, and then I was like, okay, proofs are very crucial.
Yeah. And so when you get a new writing idea and, we talked about how it really, like, motivates you and takes over, like, how do you develop that further? When you get that initial idea, what is sort of your process to determine, "Yeah, this is gonna be a thing, and I'm gonna work on this?"
Okay, so first of all, I'm a very creative person, and I think there are too many novels living inside me right now. I need like
Oh my
10,
god,
20
same.
hands, and I want to write those together. But like jokes apart, but like whenever I get a new idea, I like have a little notes on my phone. First thing I do is I just title that idea, and I write like the big, big, big bird's eye view overview of that. That okay, this is what I'm thinking. It's like very rough scribble. I'll just put down
Mhm.
the idea so that I don't lose it, and then after that when I have time I start to develop it. So the first thing I'm into art, so I'm most excited about the cover. Book is one side, cover is another side. First the title will be decided, then the cover will be made. That cover will give me motivation, and then I will just start writing my story. I'll try to like put it, and then I try to structure it first, like how many chapters it is going to have, or like the broad overview that I have to write this, I have to give this, I have to give this, and then slowly, slowly I will develop it, have feedback throughout, then reread and proofreading, formatting, and everything like that. And like writers is an all day work. That is the beauty of writing, also. You observe, you learn. Even when you are cooking, you are doing simple chores, your mind is in your book. Okay, I have
Yep.
to write this, my characters, and you'll think about it. Oh, wow, great. This is a good detail.
Yeah.
I should add it in my book. Okay, so you are at work all the time. Practically, sometimes you can't even sleep because you are thinking about what I have to
Yes.
add. And just say about smartphones, if it is at your arm's reach, you are going to grab it slowly and you start writing it, and then the baby will kick you off, or your husband will shout with you, what nonsense this is, and you're going to put that back. That
That
is the process.
100%. The other night, I take medication for sleep just because I will not sleep otherwise. I have horrible insomnia. And so, like, I had my medication, I had my whole bed ritual to kinda help me sleep. Everything was off. I get curled up, and then one of my characters like, "So for my book in the series, this is what we're gonna do." And I'm like, "It is 11 o'clock at night." So I'm just like, "No, I'm not thinking about this." And then that character kept talking, and then another character chimed in. I was like, "Girl, your book's not for like 2 other books. Slow your roll." Like, and it was like a good half an hour, 45 minutes before they shut up enough for me to fall asleep.
I
Like,
know.
eh
It's like
oh.
people have recognized work from home from the COVID era, but we writers, we are always working from home and we are working all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I work for myself, and I have to force myself to take days off. Like, I had to put a boundary not to work, like, write or work on weekends because when I first started, I would work like 12-hour days, like, every single day. And
Yeah.
so I was like, you need to have boundaries so you don't burn out constantly.
That is a really very important thing. Like when you are very excited for something, you will lose track of time. You will try to save time from some actually crucial things. These will go down the line, deprioritize, and they will never get done. And then that excitement will wear off eventually when there is a pile of laundry sitting and laughing with you. There are dishes and there are so many things, so many responsibilities. But yeah, I know
Yeah.
it. Boundaries is the key. You are correct.
Now that we're getting into the advice portion of the podcast, that would be my first piece of advice for new indie authors, especially if you're writing and working full time at something else. Like, set boundaries for yourself and take care of yourself. Like this last year, or last year, when I was editing my audio drama, I was constantly burning it because I saw the finish line, you know?
Yeah,
And so I was like, "I wanna get it done, I wanna get it done." But I was pushing myself too hard to do it, and it wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to because I was so tired. I had to force myself to take some days off from it and put it aside, and kind of kept reminding myself, "This is why you didn't set a release date yet. This is what like, no one's waiting for this," you know? And if you have a deadline, that's different, but if you have your own deadline, another piece of advice I would make for indie authors is don't set the deadline too early. You know what I mean? Like, set it
yes,
when you're, like, several edits in, not when you're starting your first round of edits, because you don't know how many rounds you're gonna have.
that is absolutely true.
If you set a release date too soon, you're gonna make yourself crazy.
I remember the excitement of publishing the book. I think I was up till 2 or 3 a.m. at night and I published my book. So I can totally relate with and I was not even having a deadline, but it is pure passion and pure madness.
Exactly. You're so passionate and you're so excited, and then it's, like, 2 days later and you're like, "Okay, I've had 1 meal, I slept maybe twice." And you're like, "Oh, I need to go be a person for a few hours before I continue this."
Yeah, that is true.
And so what piece of advice would you give to new indie authors who are just starting out? What is something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
Well, when I was starting out, like what I wished was I knew that there is something like formatting, there is something like arc reading, there is something like booksta, because I think that writing books is one part of it, but for writers, because writing is our talent, it is the easiest part. The most difficult part is marketing the books and
Oh, yes.
reaching to people. So I think like writers need to think more about that.
The logistics of it, yeah.
Yeah, because writing is in our, like it's in our blood. We know we are a writer, we'll do it. It's our job. But yeah, marketing is something which I have found very difficult, and then also try to prevent yourself from the people who will scam you. There are marketers
Yes.
everywhere, so you should be very careful of those people, especially if you're Instagram or Bookstagram. It's like they
Yeah.
will take your account and you might just even end up losing your account to those scammers. So you should be very careful. It is like your months of hard work will go away in a second.
That has been a huge problem lately, is just the number of people soliciting services through DMs. I don't know when this became a thing. I was talking with another audio drama person, Steph. Hi, Steph, love you. And she was explaining that it was a big thing on LinkedIn to like DM people with your services. And when I told her it was happening in Instagram, 1 week I had to block like 6 accounts because they were soliciting me through messages.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize it had moved away from LinkedIn." And I'm like, "Yeah, it has. I've had so many people start conversations with me and then try to sell me things. I had someone join my Discord server and do that, and every single conversation I had, they kept trying to sell me something until I had to very firmly be like, "Stop," and then they ignored me. Like, they just stopped messaging me. And then I've had a couple recently too that just out of nowhere just started DMing me, like, solicitations and all this stuff, and I don't know when that became the norm, but I don't like it and it needs to stop. Like,
Yeah.
I have so much other things on my
And they
plate
have
right now.
very beautiful ways of tricking you. They will like
Yeah,
appreciate your profile. You deserve to be in the limelight. It's like you deserve to be the next rock, or you deserve a seat next to Queen Elizabeth. That is their how much they are going to force you and try to sell the services. But we have to be careful. Maybe another piece of advice would be to trust in yourself. It is hard. It is very
yes,
hard, and you should not get demotivated. And it is easier said than done. I totally agree, but still you have to trust your writing, you have to trust your passion, and you have to get to the right set of readers. When we start, we don't have to worry about how many views or the like count or the comments. The community and your readers will slowly build up. And even I thought like, when I got like even 5 people read my book, I was like on the top of the world. Oh my god,
yeah,
5 people read my book, 5 people. But and
yeah,
and I never thought like I will have actual fans, but now I have a few people who actually like my work, and whenever my book comes out they will just buy it just because I have written it and it's a bit
yeah,
interesting to them. So you will have actual fans, and time, like everything, it takes time. Like there is no
yeah.
alternative to time. It will be slow,
No,
but that is sustainable. If you go for a fast hype or a fast growth, it's going to crash. So yeah,
yeah,
you have to be patient. That is another advice.
yeah, patience. I think for me, when I decided to do this, I guess I officially launched my indie writing career in 2018. When I did that, the big thing for me is that my mom read my first book,
Oh,
and
wow.
this was the first time I put erotica out there with my name on it. So I was like, I'm in my 20s, like, I'm so much older, like, than
Yes.
like, I shouldn't be worried about this, I'm an adult, and so my mom read my book in a couple days, and it was the first book she had read in, like, 5 years.
Oh my god.
I was proud. I was like, "That was it. That was the moment." And, like, she called me like, "Okay, so I came to this part," and da 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 and, like, just would, like, gush about the story, and I was so proud. And then she was like, "Oh, and James, oh my god," and she started, like, thirsting after the guy, and that's when I was like, "Okay, mom, I love you, we're done talking now." Like, talk to your girlfriends about that part of the
It
book.
reminds me even of my mother. She read my books, like she reads all my books, and even if it is a children's book, she will read it because she never reads books, but she reads my books. So mothers are greatest supporters. Whenever I
Yeah,
post something, I know that I'll have a comment from my mother. Nobody else, but
yeah,
yeah, my mother will comment and she will like it.
yep. My dad, yeah, my dad, anytime I post something, there's immediately a comment, I'm like, "It's my dad." Or he'll call me, like, when I released the audio drama, it's called Battle Cry, and it was a passion project. It was an idea I've been wanting to do for, like, a decade.
Wow.
And so when I sent him the first episode. I'm one of the characters in it, and he called me by my character name. And it was so like it sounds so corny, but it was so sweet. And so he's like, "Yeah, number 13, you did great." I was like, "Thanks, Dad."
Yeah, we are
So if
insanely
nothing else, I
lucky.
have my parents.
We are very lucky that our parents support us a lot. Like,
Yeah.
we are incredibly lucky about it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Alrighty, so as we wind down, where can people find you? I'll put some links in the description of the episode, but where can people find you and read your stuff?
So for finding me, the best channel is Instagram. So I have Read with Ria. That is my Instagram account. You can message me and I'll reply. And for my books, I have published my books on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited as well. So I have written 4 books till now. The first, my debut, Heart Knows No Miles. It's my own love story, a romance memoir. So that is only an ebook and available on Amazon. And then I have written a fantasy, a fairy tale called Fruit Fairy, Origin of the World. So that is an ebook and a paperback with beautiful illustrations. So that's also on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And then I have written a very unique children's activity book themed around Fruit Fairy, which is for 5 to 10-year-olds, and it is a paperback only book on Amazon with 49 unique activities which are very magical, fun, and educational. And all activities are unique, and any child is going to love it for sure. So, that I will say, just go get it if you have such cute kids in your life. And my last book, Born of Us, as I told before, so it is about pregnancy and postpartum and a family drama around it, like a piece of fiction. It's also an ebook and it's available on Amazon and KU. And I am a great supporter of indie authors. So for every indie author listening to me right now, I would say reach out to me, and I love reading and reviewing books. So if anybody wants a book review or any piece of advice or just to say hi, and I'm always available. So yeah, and I would like to thank Leani for inviting me to this podcast, and it was really fun talking to her.
Thanks for signing up. It was wonderful talking with you as well.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you next week. Happy writing!
Happy writing. Bye.